Good day, everyone. Welcome to another episode of
Mom and Son Podcast. This is Rose Cres Fausto, the mom, also known as FQ Mom.
And this is Anton Fausto the son. Our episode for today, the topic will revolve around I would call this my first love in life, which is dancing. And I really want to, also it's like a self-reflection thing na I get to analyze. Because dancing, I started it when I was 11. Was I 11 years old? Basta grade school pa.
Well, if I include the days when you were still a baby, do you remember that your favorite lullaby was the Janet Jackson?
Together again.
Can you believe that, guys? That for me to put Anton to sleep, I had to play a dance music.
How old was I?
Maybe a year
I wasn't walking pa, ganun.
You were na, kasi we were walking at one. But it started earlier than that. And then I was playing it on the cassette recorder.
Na parang last track pa siya, di ba?
Oo, last track. So I have to rewind because you would say some more. So I had to rewind.
Hindi pa ako tulog.
Yeah. Hirap kaya yun.
Yeah. So yung dancing wala from birth pa.
Yeah. You were dancing in my womb.
Yeah. So I wanna share and talk about then yung importance of dancing. Kasi syempre started as a hobby. But then I really believe that it affected and influenced like my friends were, the things I would do, and ultimately my career, which is, I guess, people my age, that would be our number one priority these days in this
time. And you know that dancing is really a human expression. So even in the olden days, they used that to celebrate, maybe even to agonize.
Yeah. It's really a part of human life.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get to it. I guess to start talking about my dance journey, I gotta bring you guys to the beginning, which was in grade school. I remember in grade 5, back in Ateneo, we had this thing called the class night. So it's one night where all the sections have this parang program, and then it's a sleepover for everyone. And that's a big deal because it's like the only time in the whole year that you get to sleep over. And alam mo naman na back then, sleepovers was such a huge deal. So during the program, our class and a few other sections, we were assigned to have a dance performance. And the way I started my dance career, kind of like how a lot of dancers, I think, started theirs, which was by biting, which means copying the dance moves of another crew or another group. And mine, syempre, were my brother's dance group. They were part of Dance X, which is the dance team of Xavier High School. And I'd copy their moves. I watched their performances. I watched all their live performances. And dun taga, that's where it started. Ever since then, I joined dance workshops every summer. I always found a reason to dance. And even in grade 7, I ended up forming my first dance group, which is a bunch of friends of mine. We made this group called Influx. Now, we performed in the class night naman of grade 7. And then lots of us ended up joining the dance team in high school. And this is, I guess, where I really found my closest friends. So besides the physical effects, besides the the lessons I learned from dancing, the discipline of training and setting a goal, managing time, one of the things that's real to me up to today, even if I don't dance as much now, is that dancing is where I found my closest friends. And I feel like it's something that goes beyond dancing, because these are the people that you spend most of your time with. All the rehearsals, all the trainings, the performances, the competitions, and these are where I really got to forge true friendships. I'd like to say that, true friendships are forged through challenges, through hardships, and I can't think of a more concrete example of challenges I faced in school than in the dance aspect of my school life. And these are the people na kahit na we're not teammates anymore, kahit na, di na kami nagkikita all the time for rehearsals, we still keep in touch. And these are the people I think I'm gonna keep as friends till I'm, old and gray, hopefully. And that's really something very important. Supports why I believe that hobbies are very important, not just for you to kill time, not just for you to, have something to do, have fun. Kasi it's through these hobbies, it's through these things that you like to do. That's where you find people like you. Now they have the same interests, you share the same passions, and then you get to form a stronger bond, a stronger connection. Naturally, the people you spend the most time with become your closest friends. Fun example is that I'd always say that dating a teammate is actually practical. You know, on a lighter note naman. Kasi when you're training with someone regularly, you get to see them at their absolute worst. Pagod sila. Imagine a whole day training. Umaga pa yung naligo. So baka ano na yun. That's their most haggard and their least fresh state, if I could say. Na it's worse pa than bagong gising kasi at least yung bagong gising. Hindi ka napapawisan or anything. And it's when you get to see the quote-unquote worst version of someone. That's when you know who that person truly is. And if you're okay with that person, edi sure ka na wala siyang tinatago, di ba? Going to my next point, why I really owe so much to dancing, to what it has done to me for school. It really helped me develop my confidence. And I'm not sure how else to explain how this makes you talaga. It forces you to be a more confident person. Kasi wala talagang escape if you're going to perform on stage. Kasi whether or not you're blocked in the front or back, you know, makikita ko pa rin sa video or if it's a huge audience. The fact that you have so much experience and so many performances throughout your dance career, throughout my dance career, it really kind of forced me to develop my confidence. Kasi bawal ka nang mahiya. Kasi kung mahihiya ka pa while you're performing, edi sayang lahat ng pinag-training mo, sayang lahat ng effort and, you know, rehearsals mo. I would always attribute to my parents how they raised me. That's why I grew up as a self-confident person na if I have something to say, if I believe this point, if I have this stand, then I won't be afraid to say it. But then you have to be able to exercise that and you have to be able to have an avenue to keep doing that. And dancing really gave me just that. So there's that one aspect of performing in front of a huge audience. And alam ko na there was this study that said that the number one or number two fear of people is actually public speaking. And then next to it daw, or above it, is dying. Equal siya yung speaking in public and dying. Diba? That's such a funny thought naman. So I'm really lucky, I'm really blessed to have been raised this way, to have been given the opportunities to work on it. Kasi people can say na, he was just born confident eh. No, hindi kasi yung mga magulang niya ganyan. But then it's something that it's a skill. It's a characteristic that you need to develop. It's not something that's just given to you. Although yes, some people have it easier. Some people, you know, could just from the start be more confident. But then I believe it's something that you can work on. And with the number of performances, yung ganong sanay na ako sa you know, performing in front of people, sometimes making a fool out of myself. You just get to practice it and you just gotta suck it up eh. And just get used to it na hindi ka na nahihiya. And besides the performances, also it's in training. Kasi in any organization naman, you know, just because a dance team dances doesn't make them so different from another sports team. There's still leaders that have to be elected. There are still tough decisions that have to be made, meetings. There's still a structure to be able to have a successful organization. And lucky also for me when I was in 4th year high school, I was elected as the organization head for our dance team, which is Indak, Indayog ng Atenisang Kabataan. And here I was really tested skills that go beyond dancing. Kasi syempre, when you're in your first year, katang isip mo, it's like, I just want to perform, I want to have a good time, I want to train, I want to learn from the best and everything. But once you're given that role, you have to look at that. That's when I guess, dun pa na-develop further yung understanding ko and my relationship with dance. That it's more than just a hobby. It's more than just something I like to do. Kasi it branched out to other skills, to communication skills, to leadership skills, and mas intense na time management. Kasi it's not just schoolwork, family time, and training na you have to balance. There's also the part of my Indak life, which went beyond the performing and training hours, the meeting times, kahit yung ako lang na mag-isa, na I think of ideas of how to lead the organization, what direction it can go. And this goes for any other hobby also, na it's not, yes, you fall in love with that hobby. Yes, I fell in love with dancing because it made me feel happy and I had a lot of fun doing it. But then as you go deeper into it, as you commit yourself more to it, you get to learn that there are actually more things that dancing gives you that goes outside of dancing and can be applied to other aspects uh, of life. An example would be the no excuses mindset. And this is something I really love and look up to with my fellow teammates, with my fellow dancers, is that really, someone told me that the thing with dancers, and if you also look at them in the corporate or the in their working life, is that they know how to quote unquote hustle, which means that when when the pressure is on, when there's not much time, when there is a deadline you have to meet, dancers know how to get it done, because the usual common example would be, let's say, a performance and there's a deadline, the performance is this day. So syempre, no excuses. You can't push back the deadline if it's a performance, if it's a competition. No matter what happens, you need to be done with everything. You need to be done with choreography, with blocking, with polishing, with running it again and again, with and without mirrors. You have to be ready before the competition, and no one or nothing is going to adjust for you. So if that means you have to sacrifice time for other things, then you have to do it. If that means you have to extend rehearsal times, edi you have to do it. Kasi a saying that's famously used in the performance industry is that the show must go on. So I've had this so many times, and back in high school nga, even when I was sick, I would go to school, because yung sabi ng mom ko, if you're sick and you can't go to class, edi you can't go to training. Although it's not the most ideal way to prioritize the things in your life, kasi syempre student performer, meaning student ka muna bago ka performer, bago ka dancer. Yun yung mahal ko talaga na when I would go to school, high school and college, yeah, the most important thing is learning, diba? Getting the degree, graduating. Pero what makes me passionate about going to Ateneo pa rin, about going to school every day, syempre it would be the things that I love doing the most, which was dancing. So that no excuses mindset talaga, na no matter what happens, you have to find a way to make it work. Kaya nga natatawa ako sometimes when I'm gonna just throw some shade right quick when I would hear speeches of mga officers running, or different organizations, or different mga teams. I don't remember the specific group or team na they were giving a speech, sabi nga na parang, yan, we promise to really commit, ganyan, na we have a hard time, we have to stay until school, until 6 or 6:30 nga even if classes end at 3 or 4. As in, my teammates and I were kind of laughing kasi, I mean, that's nothing. If you leave at 6 o'clock, you're actually leaving early kasi may konting, may glimpse ka pa ng araw on the way home, na it became a norm for me na by the time I come home, kumakain na ng dinner yung family ko, or tapos na silang kumain. But I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining na ang galing ko naman. I'm going home so late, you should be like me. Di naman ganun. I'm just saying na it became part of our lifestyle, na our school hours didn't end at 4 p.m. when the bell rang. It ended when the music stopped playing and we were done stretching. And I guess the most, I keep saying most important thing, but another very, very important thing, lahat talaga ng mga sinasabi ko about dancing, very important, was that it led to hosting for me. Back in first year college, my cousin, Ate Catherine, got married. Hi, Ate Kat. Hi, Kuya Joey. And she asked my brothers and I to host their wedding. And that was I guess that's the first, you can say, legit event that I got to host ever. And it was there na, kasi my brothers and I, syempre, we're close, we're used to talking, we're all performers. My brothers, by the way, dancers also sila. They were also part of Dancex and CADS, which is the Company of Ateneo Dancers, the dance team in college. Pero ako talaga yung na-addict talaga. I'm the one who really just fell hard for dancing. That's why I always call it my first love, before anything else, before anyone else. And it was in this wedding of my cousin na I probably thought to myself, like, wow, this is actually pretty fun. Na it's performing, but then it's not dancing. And then, okay pa ako, di ako pawis after the performance, and nakasuit ako, gwapo ako, ganyan, diba? And then, one thing led to another na my org, ACTM, which is the home org for my course, Comtech, they asked they asked me to be the representative for this parang pageant. It's called Som Week. So I was with Mr. ACTM. And it was here na I was forced out of your comfort zone because we had different challenges. It wasn't just smiling for a picture, talking in front of a video. We had the Q&A spa. We had an afternoon show where we had to parang present ourselves na, hi, I'm Anton Foss, I'm Mr. ACTM, ganyan. And we also had a dance and then it was here na I got the confidence to really believe in myself. And then this really goes beyond dancing na kasi if I didn't have the confidence I had, if I didn't have the skills I learned from dancing, I don't think I'd ever start hosting, which leads to so many things, which led to a career I had in college, which led to what I've been doing ever since graduating, na I host, and I still get to dance now and then, pero syempre, this hosting is really where I guess I found myself. It's still a kind of performance, but it's something more individual, and I guess mas angkop siya sa akin na I get to really exercise and flex that part of my brain that where you need the creative juices to talk, to be able to connect to people using words. It goes beyond just body language and physical movement. It's something na I fell in love with in college, and I'm still continuing to fall in love with every day. And I really owe that to my roots, which is really dancing. To kind of sum it all up, why did I share this story? Why did I talk about all of this in one episode? Is that I really hope that by sharing my experiences, it started lang as a hobby talaga. It started lang with me copying what my kuyas were doing, and then I really got to discover myself through this. Back when I was starting out with it, that's when I really got to parang create this self-identity, and I loved it. I loved it when my batchmates back in grade school and high school would mention me, si Anton, si Fausto, yung sumasayaw, the dancer guy. I loved it, and I super owned it. And if it weren't for, the curiosity of a child to just try out something new, and then since he liked it, he kept doing it again and again. It was because of this curiosity, parang sige, I'll just try this thing out, guys. It's because of that. That's how I believe, domino effect, it led to me today having a career that's not exactly focused on dancing, but I think I can say by now that I wouldn't be doing any of this. I wouldn't be doing something close to this if it weren't for my experiences with dancing. So again, I encourage everyone, all the kids out there to try, not even kids, you don't have to be young to do this, to just try out something new. If it interests you, try it out. If you don't super like it, there's probably something else that you like more, kasi that's why it didn't click. And to parents also, to allow your kids to really go out and try out these new things, encourage them. And I'm lucky na my parents supported me all the way in this, because dancing is not, it's actually sometimes an expensive hobby, especially if you reach the point where you want to compete abroad. Syempre, lahat ng mga costume, lahat ng mga extra bound because you're staying later, all of those things. So yun, shout out again to my parents, my family for always supporting. And I just hope that, everybody, you who's listening to this, I hope that you get to find your quote-unquote dancing in your life and apply it to your career in the future.
Okay, thank you for listening to another episode of Mom and Son Podcast. We hope you learned something. And Anton, you enjoyed that episode?
Yeah, I really enjoyed looking back at the memories, and it's something I still want to continue doing, although not at the same level as I did before. And I urge and also encourage people to find their dancing.
Yes.
It's not necessarily dancing, but then you have to have your own
bodily expression.
Yes.
Even those who say that they have two left feet, dapat, no?
You can still dance with two left feet.
Yes.
It's just a different kind of dance. Okay, so see you guys again next week for another episode of
Mom and Son Podcast. This is Rose Fresh Fausto
and Anton Fausto. Bye! Mom and Son Podcast airs every Tuesday at 7 a.m. or at any time at your convenience and can be streamed through Spotify, Buzzsprout, and Apple iTunes, as well as a video version on YouTube. Just search Mom and Son Podcast for your weekly dose of family, finance, passions, and everything in between. For any comments, suggestions, and questions, you can email us at antonfalsa@gmail.com.